So it comes out that even the natural and coarse intellect and emotions, they also get excited with a godly excitement. And they become included and transformed from bad to good. To change their evil nature, from one extreme to the other. And this happens through this light, this flame that burns and consumes, like that dark light, that dark radiance, which burns the wick, as we mentioned earlier. This is called a godly flame. Sheba b'neshama mitzad hasoga lukis, that comes in a person's soul because of his godly comprehension. V'hispilus rishpe esha chuka elukis, with excitement of flames of fire of godly longing, shall heves zu hanikra shall heves yutke davke. This flame, which is called God, the flame of God specifically, who hasayif umachalel eish v'choim azar hara hativi shebelev basar ma'at hulu. This is what burns and consumes the fire and the strange and evil fire and heat, what is innate in a heart of flesh. It burns and consumes it bit by bit. And as we see in actuality, that anybody who gets excited with inflamed with wanting to cleave to God, miyad hu mispayel b'liboy, immediately he gets excited in his heart, umoichoi, and his mind, hativim, his natural heart and mind, bislava zu mamish, with this flaming. In actuality, bispilus amitis, a true excitement. The only thing is, it doesn't last long. You get this feeling of, oh, I love God. God is the greatest, and you're very excited. But that was for a few seconds. Goes v'yesh. In some times, it stays a bit longer. Why is it that it could go away, it not last? Because there's a lack of oil. Because it's the body is the wick. The wick is the analogy for the body. The ha'ir and the light, who Eloki, is the godly light, the nishmas ha'adam, of the person's soul, shehu k'moy chibur tzura v'chomer kayedua. And what we have here is combining form and matter. Have a look at note 47. Forms, the actual physicality is created ex nihilo, something from nothing, from the aspect of soive kol almi, that's a transcendent light, whereas qualities and characteristics of created beings, the form, derive from mamalik kol almi. So sometimes the qualities and characteristics of created beings, their spiritual dimension is referred to as heaven, whereas the physical component is called earth. And in note 48, this joining is basically we're joining spiritual with physical. It's something that is difficult and it doesn't last. So you need oil to create a lasting combination, the lamp, and meaning the lamp within one's soul. Okay, so this was the end of section 2. Now we're going to do one more section, and then we'll call it a night. Okay?
What page is this?
We're page 39, 38, 39. The Amnon, however, Sibas Chibur v'kesher ha'oir b'psila hu Hashem. The reason how you can have the light be connected and bound with the wick is the oil. So that the flame will be grasped there for a long time. And so that you can have the two colors, the love and the shachar, the white and the black, the radiant and the dark. Kahu, it's the same way, b'neshama v'guf, with the soul and the body. Shal yedei b'chinas hashemen, through the oil, shehu b'chinas hachachma, which is a person's chachma power, and usually translated as wisdom, which I find not a very, doesn't really get at to me, the point of what this chachma is. But let's say chachma is where you're looking at things totally objectively, your mind is empty, and you get a flash of insight. That flash, that's your chachma power. Okay, that is the oil. So through that, nase chibur ha'oir deneshama beguf. From that, there comes about the joining of the light of the soul with the body, b'kol koichiseho, in all of the body's powers. B'kiyum hadlokas zman rav mitamana, through having this illumination stay for a substantial amount of time. Va'inyanhu kayadua, and what's the idea here? The bechinas chochma shebenefesh alakis hu anikra koyachma. What is this chochma power in the godly soul? It's called koyachma. So the letters chochma spell out koyachma. You just switch the ches and the chof. It means, trying to translate that is a little difficult. The potentiality of what is.
Well, it's
okay. In other words, what is this?
Like manna.
What is that? That is self-abnegation, getting yourself out of the way to the godly ayin. Ayin, as we say, normally would mean nothing, but it's not what nothing. It's not a thing, but it's like when you say, how do you get physicality out of spirituality? You say, oh, you got something from nothing. It's nothing physical, but it's spiritual. Okay, so to be totally get yourself out of the way, to be open to this godly ayin, which is something which is totally beyond reason and knowledge or common sense or anything like that. After that, this power then will spread bivina into the next lower part of you, which is your bina power, which is your understanding or analytics power. Shehiha hasaga ha'elokis. This is a godly comprehension. Shehein. So these two that we talked about here, chachma and bina, yud and hey shebeneshama. This is the yud and the hey in the soul. We said before that the neshama has the 4 letters of God's name, the yud and the hey, the first 2. V'hainu mashiyesh bekoyach ubehelam b'kol nitzus koton miyisrael. And what this means is that is Michael on?
Yes,
okay. That so I should probably join your thing so he can see.
Did he-
Okay, you can see
Did Michael say that Tobias Singer died?
his father, I think.
His father.
Hello? Tobias Singer's father died.
Yeah.
Got everything going, and you've given them to me in the order.
I think Tobias.
Yeah, he had been mentioning it for probably the past 4 months.
Okay, has he been hearing me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. Oh, so I just went on your Zoom. It looks like I'm the only one on.
No, it's a different Zoom.
Oh,
I'm
you didn't put it on that chat? You
No.
just sent him. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Michael can hear me, but he can't see me, right?
Right. Yeah, I see the screen share. The website.
Where am I?
Yud, hey, Shavon, Kriyadua.
So this is that there in every smallest spark of a yid, there is in potential and concealed the ability lehisbatel to become nullified, velodus mimkeimon legamre, and to completely go out of your place, out of yourself, legabe elukus, and let God in, let godliness in. So that's called nikra koyach ma shebeneshama, this power of koyach ma, this power of what is in the neshama. V'zehu hanikra shemen, and that is also called oil. Kimoya shemen, just like the oil shenimshach achar psila that is drawn to the wick. Shehu aguf, the wick is the body. Later boy gam came bechinas habitul shel yeshusoi v'gasusoi. And what the point of it is it to arouse also the nullification of your ego and coarseness, that it should become subjugated and nullified, nichna v'batel v'nishbar, and broken, legamre, totally, shenikra bitul hayesh la'ai, which is called the nullifying of the something to the nothing, nullifying your selfhood to God. Kimei sha'anu royim, as we see, shepitoim yikon alev achumri migasus shaloi, that all of a sudden, sometimes, his coarse heart can become subjugated out of its coarseness. V'yipol tavas shrirus liboy legabe elikim chayim. And instead of the wanton desires, lusts that he has, they fall away, and instead he's just interested in godliness. To arouse him with a total tshuva, mikiris alev, from the depths of his heart. And that is what's called a broken and contrite heart. This is the consumption of the wick, with its godly flame, al yedei Hashem, through the oil, the koyach ma shenimshach, of this power of vital, of self-abnegation.
What page are we on now?
41 top, that is drawn through it. V'hainu shemen toiv. This is when you've got good oil, which gets drawn through the wick well. But if it doesn't get drawn through the wick well, then the godly light does not get grasped in his intellect and emotion, his bodily intellect and emotions. The kaifetz miyad, and it jumps off right away. It gets extinguished. So it comes out sheshemen hazeh, that this oil is what causes the burning of this dark colored light, Shenikra Shalheves Yudke Kanal, which is called the flame of Yudke. And we mentioned Yudke because that's the Chochmah and Bina, right? Which burns and consumes bit by bit, la pasilo, the wick, shehu aguf, which is the person's body. That it should also become included in godly light. Shehu spilus elukis berish be'esh Chanukah, which is the light, the flame of godly excitement with flaming fires of longing, shenikra shalheves yudke kanal, which is called this godly flame, the emoshich zman rav, and that it should last a long time, lo yikav klal, and not be extinguished at all, the dilemavin, and suffice that for the understanding. So that's benefit one. The second benefit from the oil, who is the shining, the radiance of the white light, the higher light, that's in the soul, which is called the bright radiance. Which that is in accordance to, depending on how pure the oil is. Because it becomes consumed and drawn, this oil, into the flame, which attracts it, as mentioned earlier. So what is that all about? That is an analogy for what? So the idea here is this oil, this koyach ma, the chokhmah, in our soul, which is called oil, has two levels. The first is that it is coming and drawn from concealment to revelation. Shezehu ha'oise ha'hachna'o u'bitul ha'yesh la'ayin gam beguf li'yos lo'iruach nishbara b'gashmiyusa kanal. Which that is what makes the subjugation and nullification of the ego to spirituality, even within the body, that he should have a broken spirit, even in a physical sense. The habes, and the second is who k'moshe b'chinas koyach mazeh hu b'shorshay b'chinas eiro eloki mamish, is the way this koyach ma, this chochmah, is in its root in the godly flame mamish, k'moshe kosu b'chochmah me'ayin timotze. That chochmah, from where, so literally chochmah, from where does it come? But that's the way the verse goes. It appears from where? Question? No. Answer. Me'ayin, from the ayin, from the nothing, from the spiritual. Me'ayin mamish. V'hu mashe b'kol neshama yesh b'chinas bitul atzmi lelukus. And this is that every soul has an essential nullification to godliness. Liyos b'chinas ayin mamish. In truth, your soul is egoless. It is spiritual. It's not just nullifying your ego, kayadua. This is its lowliness and extra lowliness and humility in its very essence. We say in the end of Shemona Esrei and the Elokai Neshama part, we say, let my soul be as dust before all. Mamish. I don't think of myself as bigger than anybody else. No, I'm like what everybody tramples on. Bilti margish ba'atzmo shum davar. Not feeling any importance to himself at all. Dvar Mayla, klal uklal. B'kol asher oiseh. As good as things as you do, I'm a total nothing. V'nikra b'loshen Yiddish Nichtkeit.
Nothingness.
Is gor nicht be'etzem. I'm totally nothing. V'hu ma'ashekasuv, and this is what it's what's written. Uvaleid kol chacham leid nosati chochmo. In the heart of every wise-hearted person, I have placed wisdom. So this actually, I believe, is talking about the craftsmen who were making the Mishkan. Bezalel and Oliav and all of their whole crew there, that they each had their own craft. So they, how did they get to be such professionals at making these fantastic things in the Mishkan and so on? They opened their
Open
heart.
channel.
Yeah, that's right.
Open
Exactly. V'kein yoiv chochma sol hakimin. Another expression. He gives chochma to the wise. V'kein masha oivnim v'nafshi ke'afar. And also what we said earlier, this what we say in the Shemona Esrei, let my soul be as dust. So what do we say right after that? Nafshi le'afar lakol tiyeh, psach libi b'seiresecha. Open my heart in your Torah. In other words, if I really want to understand Torah, the way to do that is get myself out of the way. Now, I have to work at it, but I also have to remove my preconceived notions, okay? And be open to what the Torah is really telling me. And so if you do that, then your heart gets open to the Torah memela automatically. Shal Yidei said that through this, hu hagoyrim lahamshich bechinas oir ha'elyon, the pnimius chachma, this is what causes that there be drawn the supernal fire, supernal radiance of the innermost wisdom. Shezeu gilui oir ein soif. This is the revelation of God's infinite light. Sheba umeir min helim atzmus, that comes and illuminates from the essential concealment. B'kol neshama b'vchinas atzmius ha'er, into every single soul in a way of the essence of the light. Shezeu oir zarur l'tzadik elyon anal. This is light is sown, planted for the higher tzaddik that we said earlier. Shenikra neheira chivra. That is the radiant white light. This is the light that shines in a way, the flame that shines in a way of excitement. Kol ha'atzmius, with all of his essence, be'avo rabba betanugim, with an immense love with delight, b'chlois hanefesh, as the soul expiring, oy b'tshuka, or with oy b'tshuva, or with the tshuva, b'msiris nefesh mamish, in a way of giving himself over completely. V'zehu mitzad kilyan hashemen zeh. This is all as a result of the oil being consumed. Which is drawn into the flame. This is like the lowliness and humility, of the higher light, that the higher light draws in. That it should be, or maybe he should be, enables a person to reach the essential ayin of godliness. And this is what makes the radiance of the higher light, higher flame, in accordance with the purity of the oil, Shehu oimek amitis shiflus v'ha'anova, which is the depth of the truth of the lowliness and humility, beheder hargoshas atzmoi, with lacking all self-feeling, mikol v'kol totally. So that's your pure oil is the more you get yourself out of the way. So now in this chachma, this bittul, this self-nullification, in that kolul behelim gadol, there is contained with great concealment, beis gavonei oir halolu, both colors of light, the nehera chivra, the white light, the radiant white light, unehera ukma, and the dark radiance. And it's through this this selflessness that these are brought from concealment into revelation in the person's soul. Okay, so up to here we've talked about it on a personal level. And as we had in brackets earlier, the Mittler Rebbe mentioned that it all applies to the entire source of all Jewish souls together as a totality. So he's going to add that here too. The kach yuvon b'neshama aklolis, so will be understood also with the totality soul, shezeu b'chinas malchus da'atzilus, which is the level of malchus of Atzilus, beveis gavone eir hanal, with these two colors of light.
So what page you on now?
45. Right at the very last bit here. Kimeisha kosu b'zoyar b'peirush, as it writes in the Zohar, explaining the verse, Elokim al domi loch, God don't be silent. The nehera tato Kari Tadir L'Nehera Ilah. The lower radiance is calling continuously to the higher radiance. The guy Lemavin. So let's look at note 75 here. So there's a parallel between the individual person's soul with its two kinds of spiritual radiance and the general soul of Malchus with its two kinds of radiance. The divine radiance, which is within existence, giving it life, Mamalakul Almin, calls to the transcendent divine radiance, which is beyond, Soivid Kol Almin, seeking to be united with it. Ava Soilon, eternal love, also connotes worldly love, a form of love of God that occurs by the way of the concealment of the godly energy within the worlds, the Mamalakul Almin. This energy constantly ascends amid tremendous yearning to unite with its source, Soivid Kolov. Man, too, when he contemplates the concealment of godly energy, is aroused with tremendous yearning to the Eir Chayim, the light of life, God. This love is called animal, for it comes from within the world. It's lowly. Okay. So that is it for today. Next time we'll you can hang on. You want if you
I'm gonna
want.
keep it.
You can.
Mine's all scribbled out. Thank you.
Basically we have next week we're going to do sections 4 and 5. Okay.
Okay, sounds good.
Mike said something about Tobias Singer's father. Somebody died.
Michael?
Tobias Singer's father passed away.
64.
Huh? Michael?
Tobias Singer's father passed away.
His father.
Okay, yeah, got it. That's what I thought you said.